lost, I don't sue me. Don't do it. My drip so unruly, loss of motor functions.
I can't breathe.
When they hear my new beats, your car is spitting heat. Stay dripping like an IV, but still I am incomplete. Blindfold on, I have not peaked.
What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy, One Star Weakfoot, and we are back for another video today. And we're working on a video right now that's pretty much something that you guys have asked me for. I remember when the first FIFA 20 announcement came out, some of you guys were asking me to react to it, give my opinion on it, everything like that. So now that EA has dropped the FIFA 20 pitch notes, I'm here. I'm gonna react to it, and I'm actually excited to see what I'm gonna find. All right, let's watch this trailer. New gameplay features. All right, set pieces. Oh, wow. That's kind of crazy. So it looks like we can actually aim our penalties very precisely. The free kick system looks very different. I'm wondering how it's going to work, though, because it simply can't just be, you know, us aiming in the corner with like a little sniper, like crosshair looking thing and scoring. It can't be that easy. Wow, those... It looks like the crab walk might be back. That looks like that FIFA 17 crab walk. New ball physics. What does that mean? It does look interesting. It looks like the ball's bouncing more like a realistic, like a realistic ball would. You can't really tell much by this trailer because of all these close-ups and stuff. There's not much real gameplay. And the stuff that I've seen so far from the gameplay, more clinical one versus. All right, thank you, EA. More clinical 1 versus 1s. If this is true, this is a lot of what the community's been asking for, because at the state of FIFA right now, first time shots outside the box are more accurate than 1 versus 1. So that's definitely, I think, the biggest thing I've taken from this. The penalties and free kicks look very interesting. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I do have to see how it's gonna be implemented. Maybe they do mention it in the pitch notes. Oh, it looks like they do go into detail in the pitch notes. All right. The 1 versus 1s is the biggest thing I've taken so far from the trailer. If they really are buffed a little bit, then I think that's a really big change. Because right now, you do not get rewarded for breaking down the defense. Instead, you get rewarded for no look, 360 no scope, first time shots. And it's probably one of the most annoying things in the game right now. So let's go into the 1 versus 1. It says, due to the re-architecture of our positioning system, players should find themselves in one-on-one battles all over the pitch more often in FIFA 20. So if this means that we're going to be able to dribble and, you know, like dribble around people, because I did hear that the AI defending has been nerfed in FIFA 20. I really hope that's the case, because that makes for funner gameplay. If you're actually defending your opponent rather than relying on the AI to defend your opponent, automatically that makes it a funner game. You're more active, you're more engaged. I find AI defending to be very boring. So I hope if that sentence is alluding to what I think it's alluding to, then that's a really good change as well. So if we're finding ourselves in one-on-one battles all over the pitch, it says both the dribbler and the defender will have more time and space to read the play and show their skills than ever before. So it looks like they're trying to make things more manual on the offensive and defensive side. So I really hope that's the case. I really hope certain skill moves are more usable, because right now, as it stands, most skill moves aren't really used. It's just really the La Croqueta, you know, the drag backs, all that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping that's what this means. They want to allow us to read and predict rather than a game where you react only to your opponent. I mean, that's very vague. That can mean a lot of things. And I'm trying to be skeptical here, because every year FIFA drops these kind of announcements for FIFA. And at the beginning of the year, the gameplay is fine. And then for whatever reason, it just devolves every single patch to the point where right now FIFA 19 is not that fun to play unless you really love football, you really love soccer. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. It looks like it says, all right, the team made a big restructure of the AI positioning system, emphasizing user-controlled actions. So if that means user defending is stronger than AI defending, then big up CA. I really like that. They should blah, blah, blah. To improve unnecessary. It says players will now try to keep their formation and position. So what were they doing before, EA? Were they just going anywhere they felt like it? That's why in certain games, I feel like, especially if the lag is high in the game, my team is just everywhere. It feels like they have no formation. Sometimes I set certain instructions, it feels like they're not working. So is that what they're trying to fix here? It says to improve unnecessary player movements and hectic feeling of the game, players will now try to keep their formation and position, anticipating the opponent's next move instead of just going towards them. All right, I feel like that should have been in the game since FIFA 10. That's the point of having a formation. All right, at the same time, players will still make runs and offer support when the opportunity arises. So it looks like they're making the AI for the offense stronger in that regard. And we'll see how that works in game, because right now I feel like the positioning is pretty smart. If you're using these team of the year, team of the season icon cards that have the very high attack positioning, it already feels like they do that. However, if they're making that attack positioning a more important stat, then I'm all for that, because the more important stats that there are in the game, it differentiates player from player, and it makes players feel more unique in game. So I am for that. Game flow. The focus was built on building a slower, more all right, so they're slowing the game down again. There's no surprise. Every year, FIFA gets slower and slower. I mean, if you do play like a FIFA 16 and you play this, it feels like a completely different game. And then furthermore, if you play kickoff mode rather than Ultimate Team, you're in for a surprise. It feels like a completely different game. So if they're slowing the game down again, I'm for it as long as they don't break the game. Because I don't mind slow gameplay. I play possession. I do play fairly slow compared to the average person. And I feel like it's more realistic. But if they slow down the game and then they make it just feel clunky and unresponsive, then I'm not for it. So I'm 50-50 on that idea. Tools. Achieving a one-on-one situation was the first step. The next step is to provide both sides with the tools to resolve these plays. Some of the new tools are strafe dribble. What is the strafe dribble? Is that the L2R2? Is that crab walk? Control tackling. Okay. If they're gonna add a skill gap into the tackling, I'm all for that, because right now all we do is hold down circle. Agile jockey system. These things sound very vague, and they could be referring to things that are already in the game, as EA is known to do. So who knows? All right, so we have a lofted ground pass, lofted ground through pass. That's pretty cool, because sometimes in this game, your player will automatically do a lofted, like almost like a pass that goes above the defender that's trying to put the tackle in, like above his foot. So I feel like sometimes the game already does it for you, but to have more manual input is always a good thing. As long as something's not overpowered, which it will be, because that's what happens when you introduce new mechanics into the game. But we could just hope that's not as overpowered as something like the La Croqueta. So with the lofted ground pass, lofted ground through pass, lofted ground through, isn't that the R1? All right, I guess it's going to be a different kind of pass, a slow dribble, L2R2. That must be the new crab walk. Setup touch, strafe dribble, lock face angle, goalkeeper cross it. I feel like that's already in the game. I mean, if I hold triangle down, the goalkeeper already tries to get the cross. So that's something that's already in the game. The strafe dribble, that's what I want to see. Because I remember when FIFA 19 came out, they were advertising all these new dribbling things, like all these new touches you could take. FIFA 19 comes out, and it feels almost like the same thing. I mean, the gameplay definitely was changed, but I didn't really notice any new dribbling thing, so I'm going to reserve my judgment for that. Decisive moments. Oh my God. Decisive moments. That kind of sounds scary. I'm not going to lie to you. Decisive moments, surprise mechanics, scripting, momentum. They all sound like they're from the same kind of family, but let's see what it says here. One of the big improvements was to make the game more responsive than ever before. We created a new system that provides the players with the ability to perform last-second button input changes in certain situations during passing, shooting, and trapping. That's a very good idea, because I feel like it rewards people with higher reaction speed. It rewards people for thinking on their feet. And that's what people do in real, football, real soccer. They react to what's happening in the game. However, if EA does not fix the servers, which I don't think they will, this is just going to add to more frustration, because if your game is lagging, you won't be able to do these last-second button input changes. So I want to see them address the servers. Address these servers, EA. We also expanded the active touch system, allowing players to preserve their speed and agility when approaching the ball for a trap. This system also improves the facing direction. So that's pretty interesting, right? If you could take different kinds of touches, if you could face a different way each time you take the ball, that adds more variety to your game without, like, I like those kind of things, because right now with the way FIFA is, I feel like I'm a robot. I'm just pressing buttons. As no matter how creative I'm trying to be, I'm just pressing buttons. And if adding small things like this can reduce the monotony of the gameplay, So that's pretty cool. It'll allow for more creativity, which is pretty cool if it's implemented properly. All right, so they're going to talk about strafe dribbling here. So it's extremely agile and responsive. What? Isn't this, don't we already have L1 dribbling? Isn't this what this is describing? Let's see. I could, oh, okay. So the L1 dribbling looks like they changed it to be the crab walk. Because in this GIF right here, you see this guy's dragging back. It looks like a crab walk and he's moving forward. I don't know. It looks fun, but it looks like it has a high potential to be overpowered. I mean, like too overpowered on the La Croqueta type thing. Because do you see that? Do you see how fast he's moving backwards and able to, change direction with the fake shot? I'm not sure about that. That looks like FIFA 17 all over again. I'm not sure if I'm digging that. Let's go on to the controlled tackling. A revamped system that favors manual tackling by making sure the defender trying to tackle does so in favorable context to your team on the vast majority of occasions. All right, so this is big if they implement it properly because it says defenders will be more successful in recovering possession by tackling the ball towards a teammate. All right, so it looks like, because this is another thing that I hate in this game, is that you make the tackle and then you lose the ball after you make the tackle, which is ridiculous, which is something that should never be a thing. Like, it should be a thing every now and then because, RNG. But for it to happen frequently in certain games is just very frustrating. So if they're fixing that with the control tackling, then I'm all for it. If they're making more of a skill gap in tackling, I'm all for it because I am for the skill gap. That makes it fun. Let's see what else there is. Agile jockey. So are you gonna? It looks like they're making they're trying to make defending more manual, or at least they say they are, and they're making the jockey more agile. All right, so that's fine because the attackers are very agile already, and if you're making the jockeying agile but then nerfing AI defending, then there creates some kind of balance there. The only thing I'm concerned about here is that if they're slowing down the game and every year skill moves become slower and slower to pull off, if you're making the defender more agile, then it kind of creates an imbalance in that regard, right? If the player is unable to dribble around a manual defender because he's able to agile jockey, that could present some issues as far as balancing goes, but we'll see. Composed finishing. All right. What's the difference between composed finishing and composure? I don't know. The fact that they only say one sentence on composed finishing, in my opinion, is very telling. I think that's just more fluff. I mean, they don't really say anything about it. It doesn't look like it's a new feature at all. Setup touch. Let's see. RB to set up your noose. That's pretty cool. If that allows you to get it on the correct foot for a finesse shot, instead of having your player, for example, taking the outside the foot shot without any control over it, then that's pretty cool. No hate there. Ball physics. Let's see. Oh, there's unique physics for different ball types. So as long as they standardize the ball type and foot champs, I'm all for that. Because if they're going to have foot champs and everybody's using their own ball, then that could create some annoying, disparities there. Natural curve with passes. Ball bouncing off the ground after contact. See, that's cool. All the stuff they're talking about with the physics is very cool, right? The only thing I'm worried about here is that the game, especially when it's laggy, feels like pinball. If you're going to add real ball physics to the game where it's like bouncing and curving, it might even feel more like pinball. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. I have to see that in action. Set pieces so you can aim. Wow, that's actually pretty cool. Like I feel like I'm playing Fortnite. I feel like I'm playing Call of Duty. We got the crosshairs going at the goal. See, this one I can't really judge. I did think the free kicks need an overhaul because I don't like the current free kick system. So I can't really judge something like this until I try it, or at least until I see more gameplay of it. But it looks very interesting. What is this? Tactical free kick. That's pretty cool. I think that's been in the game though, hasn't it? Like the top spin. I'm pretty sure I used to do this with the side spin in FIFA 18, FIFA 17. Timing. Oh, you could use time finishing in the free kick system. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's going to be very cool. I hope it's not overpowered because then everybody's going to be free kicking me to death. I suck at defending those. But it's better than... I don't mind conceding free kick goals rather than conceding those goals where people call 3 players to the free kick position, and then they just pass it off and score, and I can't defend because my players don't react. I rather concede a free kick goal. We got the goalkeeper cross intercept. We talked about that. For referees in play, they're permeable and should not collide. Thank you. Thank you, EA. That's something I'm really, really feeling right there, because I hated when the referees interacted with the play. That really pisses me off in Foot Champs. Lofted passes, the dink pass. That's pretty cool. I think it's something they already had in the game, though, but we'll see. Remove no-touch dribble. All right, that makes sense, because of no-touch dribbling, like they said here, was interacting with other things that they implemented. Like when you press R1 to call a player close to you, it also activates a no-touch dribble. So for them to drop it, since nobody was using the no-touch dribble anyway, I'm fine with that. Kickoff emotions. Wait, what? What? Angry towards opponent, angry towards team, happy. What does that mean? It says it has no impact on gameplay, but I kind of want to see that. What does that mean? That's very interesting. 50-50 tackles. Yeah, that sounds like more fluff, honestly. New skill moves. I definitely want to see the new skill moves, because guaranteed one of those things are going to be overpowered. Every time they introduce new skill moves, something's going to be overpowered. They always mess up the balancing. So I definitely want to see that. Celebrations, I don't care about. And yeah, that's going to be the FIFA 20 pitch notes. Very interesting stuff. It makes me more hyped for FIFA 20. I'm always hyped for FIFA 20, but I do want to see the demo coming out. I want to see what the gameplay is like. I know the demo is not going to feel very similar to the actual game, as was the case last year, especially since kickoff mode is very different than Ultimate Team as far as gameplay, but I do want to try some of these new tactics. Let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think about this FIFA 20 pitch note thing? Are you excited for FIFA 20? Are you going to buy FIFA 20? Let me know. And yeah, I'll be back later with another video. But until then, later.